So when I was reading Brian Tracy's books, and he talks about this concept which he calls the law of positive expectancy. So when you do something, when you go for a project or you're doing something big in your life, he says that we should have this state or this feeling of positive expectancy that it is going to work out for you. For example, if you're going to do a presentation and it's an important presentation you have to make, and you will probably get feedback or sales from that, you assume before going into the presentation, when you're preparing for the presentation or something, you assume these feelings of positive expectancy. Yeah, my interview is going to go well. My interview will give me the desired results I want. And this will not only help you calm your nerves, but it will also help you stay in a more positive state. And because staying in a more positive state, that will be reflected during your preparation and during your actual presentation, and you will get the desired results. But the biggest challenge for me was like, if I've not had similar experiences, or if I've never had those similar challenges in my life, it is very hard to stay positive, especially if things in your world, in your 3D reality, in your external world, are going haywire. They're not going as planned. There are all kinds of problems. Let's say that you want to manifest a new promotion, but at your job you're having arguments, you're having back and forth with other people are not being nice to you, your manager basically told you that you're not doing a good job, and you have all these things happening in the external world, and then you go for a promotion interview. It's very hard to stay in this positive state where you can actually assume that your presentation is going to go well, or your interview is going to go well, because all the other external things in your life, they're showing you the opposite. Maybe you had an argument with one of your colleagues, maybe you had an argument with your boss, maybe you had a falling out with one of the staff members, and because of this specific thing, what ends up happening, because you see all these negative things, it's very hard to stay in this positive expectant state, because all these other negative events, fight, arguments, falling out, has happened at your workplace. It's very hard to have a positive expectancy that your promotion interview is going to go well, right? So that was a challenge for me, and it also happens with people who are manifesting a specific person. So let's say they want to manifest a specific person, but they have had an argument with that person, or that person has blocked them, or the person is not talking to them, or the person told someone, their friends or someone, that they don't want to see them, but somehow they agreed to go on a date. Like, after all these things which have happened, they agreed to go on a date. Now, even though the SP has said all these negative things and they want to go on a date, but they are repeating these things in their imagination, and instead of staying positive and having a positive expectancy that the thing will go well for them, they're kind of having a negative expectancy, or they're trying very hard to have a positive expectancy, but it's just not working out for them. They're having a lot of negative thoughts, negative things. So this was like one of the biggest challenges for me, because I realized that law of positive expectancy does work, and it has worked for me in many cases, but it doesn't work all the time. And what is the reason? And eventually, when I found the law of assumption, which Neville Goddard talks about and he teaches in most of his teachings, I really understood the difference between law of expectation and law of assumption, and how using law of assumption can really help you easily go into the state of law of expectation, of law of positive expectation, right? So let's say you imagine you want to go on a date with a specific person. You can visualize in the future, maybe 3 months from, 6 months from now, that you're in a relationship with that person. You can visualize the scene when you're talking to one of your best friends and saying that how great it is that you have been in a relationship with this person for so many months. Or you can visualize, talking to your family member, or just reflecting, or maybe looking back on your calendar that you had a fantastic day together, and reflecting back on that day where you had a fantastic day together, but you're doing it from a point of view where you're in the future, where this event has already happened and you had a great experience. Now if you do that a few times, you visualize maybe for a week or two, you might need more or less, and you come to a point of saturation where you kind of feel it's already done. You kind of get initially this scene will seem exciting, it will be fun, and eventually you will reach to a point of where it's like kind of boring, or you don't feel the same excitement, or you kind of feel like saturation. Your body feels like, your mind feels like this is done, and you know it is done. Then you can just drop it, and then naturally a state of positive expectancy will come, because now you know the end, you know that your date really went well, this person, and now you will have a very positive, naturally you will have very positive expectancy when you go into this date. The same thing can be done for the interview and the promotion. You can imagine a year from now people congratulating you on your new position, or you can imagine reflecting back, maybe receiving gifts or something, reflecting back at your interview and it went so well and you got the promotion. And you do it a few times, maybe imagine for a week or two, you imagine the scene, a short scene which implies a fulfillment of your desire. You do that, repeat a few times. Once you have reached a feeling of saturation or fulfillment, then you drop that scene and then you focus, and then it will be very easy to stay in the state of positive expectancy. So when I started using law of assumption, naturally in most cases it became very easy to get into the law of positive expectations, and I didn't even have to force myself to do it. Before, initially I had to force myself a lot to stay in this positive state. Sometimes things would go wrong and I would, no, Rohit, didn't go wrong, the interview is still going to go well, everything's going to go well, stay in the end, stay positive. And I had to like force myself, but once I started practicing law of assumption, it became very natural, and I didn't really have to force myself to do it. It kind of became naturally to me, and because it came so naturally to me, it became easier and easier in the long run over time to stay in this state of positive expectancy. So as you see how you can use the law of assumption to stay in the positive state of positive expectancy, and then you wouldn't have to force yourself as much to stay in a state of positive expectancy. So I hope you found this video useful. You can check out both the laws. I highly recommend you check out both the authors, or you can just do a simple Google search and you will be able to understand what is law of assumption, what is law of positive expectancy, and then you can see how by using law of assumption, which basically is living in the end where you desire, you live for few moments in your day, maybe you visualize in the morning or in the evening, as if your desire is already true, as if it is already here now, and then you let go from that state and you will see everything come to fruition. So hope you found this video useful. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and if you have any comments or any suggestions you wish to share, please share them in the comment section below. I will read and I will try to respond to most of them. And until then, I wish you great success on your manifesting journey. Have a good one, and I will see you later. Cheers.